Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the Gear Fit 2. I'm going to give you guys the things that I liked and the things that I didn't like about the Gear Fit 2 as far as a fitness tracker. For the last couple of weeks I've been using it. So today, this is my final verdict on it. Let's check it out. I've been using my Gear Fit 2 with my HTC 10 and I installed S-Health and I did install the Gear Manager. Those are the two applications you need to install on any Android device to use this. It is compatible only with Android at this point. Unfortunately, no iOS support. But once you install the Gear Manager, you'll be able to sync up your Gear Fit 2. It'll connect. You can set up your watch faces, your notifications, what applications you want it to be able to send notifications to it, manage it from this end. The app layout, this is just the order of the apps that as I showed you guys with the hands-on. And of course, you can send music to the Gear 2 directly, local music, of course, not streamed. Setting, you can go ahead and check the updates, Gear connection via Bluetooth, backup and restore settings. And then you also have the ability to look at it about Gear Manager app, find my gear. As long as it's connected via Bluetooth, you will be able to find it. Samsung Galaxy apps, these are just the apps that you can actually download and install on the Gear Fit 2. Next, it's pretty much a simple thing, and then you can also do the update. So you can disconnect it, connect the new gear, and then use your manual. The S-Health application is really where everything is stored. You'll notice first thing, it starts off with the sleep counter. So this measures your sleep. You're able to wear it as when you're sleeping, and you can go historically and see what you have as far as your trends. So you can see here, like last night, I slept fairly here, and you can go around and you can go back in time and see exactly how many. And if you've unlocked any rewards, which is the really nice thing, they're all also present there. Step counter is pretty much the same. It just has tracking, which is currently for the day. But if it's go trending, it'll give us the trend for the last few days, and you can see here how often and how many. I have it set to 6,000 right here. I know it should be around 10,000, which is what I have for my other watch. But you can clearly see here that on some of these days, I've actually crossed 10,000, and I'm actually able to do way more. But for me, at least a 6,000 base is not bad. And of course, it gives us the tracking of when or how often you were walking, how many miles you walked, how many calories you burned due to that walk, and then a healthy pace. And of course, if there's any rewards as far as achievement, you can see them there and go back. Again, more graphical representation of the sleep, which gives us the ability to just the efficiency, deep sleep versus regular, and you can share those. You can measure, you can interface directly with the Gear Fit 2 here. It syncs directly from the unit, and then you'll have it direct on the watch, on the application. Unfortunately, when you go back, it doesn't take you back into S-Health. It takes you back directly into the Gear Manager. Track your water, tracking activity, heart rate monitoring last. You can interact with these either on the wrist, on the watch itself, or the Gear Fit 2, or on the phone. Add the different information, food logging, exercise, walking, and all the different things. Very nice. I like the interface. I like it the way it's simple. You can sync up your information to the cloud using your Samsung account. And once you do that, any other device that you have, let's say an Android device that you install the applications on, will be synced up exactly. And so for me, I can have this on my OnePlus 3 or here, and it will work the same. And on a weekly basis, it'll give you a weekly health summary, which just gives you the trend of how things are. Overall, the things like my sleep habits are pretty poor. I don't sleep enough, I think. So this is a week of June 26th through July 2nd. Overall, my average steps, obviously, it's almost 9,000. Average sleep rate is about 5 hours and 20 minutes. And it just keeps going with the information, exercise. I did a lot of good steps, good work, and it gave me, let's say, basically Wednesday was my highest ranking day. No data as far as heart rate monitoring. Latest is 46 BPM. The lowest I've ever had was 38, and the average is about 53. And then when I'm running, it's resting heart rate. This is just all tags. The resting heart rate essentially is the lowest is 38 and the highest 46. Start off the list of the things that I like about this unit. The main thing is obviously the display. The display is extremely nice, very clear. You have the ability of adjusting the actual brightness directly from the unit. You can go all the way up to 11, and that's the maximum brightness. And you can go down. I usually keep it around 6. It's about 50% roughly. And then, of course, you can go back, and then it takes you back home. You have the ability of controlling the Do Not Disturb, which is integrated now, and this is compatible with Android devices only, but it does turn it on. So the Do Not Disturb now is built in. A music control, of course, for music playback, and it'll basically launch the last music player that we've had. And then if you notice here, it starts saying Hardwell. This is the podcast. If I hit play, I'll give it a second to buffer. I'll go ahead and pause it. I'm listening to a podcast live, so it had to take a second to actually buffer up. And then you're able to configure music directly either from the unit itself, or this is from the phone. But if you loaded any music onto it, it's really good. You can play music straight off of it with built-in 4 gigs of storage. And we'll press home takes us back to the main screen. We're able to change the actual main screen, the way the watch looks like. You have different things you can download. The ones you can download, you notice there's a minus to it, which gives us the ability to delete them. And the built-in ones you can customize, go in and change different colors. In this situation, I can change the type of style of watch here. And if I swipe to the right, I can change the actual colors of the background. And then you say OK. And then that gives us the ability to have a nice little customized one. Of course, you can change back and go to the ones you like. In the beginning, I was actually pretty fond of this one, and it gives me my steps and tells me my heart rate, my latest heart rate reading, and it does use built-in functionality to do automatic heart rate readings. Last but not least, if we swipe from the bottom, there's nothing that happens. From the left, we have our notification. It's talking about my sleep record, as I just woke up not that long ago, and I'm able to open it up in interface. It says I slept for 5 hours and 42 minutes from 10 p.m. to 4:05 a.m. Efficiency about 94%, and I say clear, and it'll clear it away. And I don't have to worry about the notification. You're able to have some basic responses back from this for normal notifications, text messages, hangouts, emails, and it will display the entire message, which is very, very nice. Those are some of the things I like about it. Overall, with the band that we get with this, it's not the best band, but it works for what it does right now, and it has some flaws. Let's talk about that. The band that we have right now is a rubberized band. It's intended to be more sporty, so they usually include this in there. It's replaceable. There's a little clasp here. I did receive the large one, and that's the one I purchased. And if you basically just push out, you're able to separate it and you're able to replace it. So you can also purchase new ones. And I'm hoping with the new, hopefully Samsung will have some new clasps that we'll be able to use. And then snapping it back on is very easy and it's very sturdy. At the bottom we have the heart rate sensor, and it does automatic heart rate sensoring and as well as manual, so you can initiate it and take your heart rate. And of course we have the 2-pin charging connector here that connects to the dock. There are some concerns going on right now because my dock basically failed on one end. I can still charge my Gear Fit 2, but I can only put it on one side as opposed to the other. And that's a little bit of a concern, but I'm working with Samsung to replace that. You do have the ability of purchasing it with a small band if your arms are, if your wrists are a little smaller, and that usually is also available. The price is the same, but again, they give you a smaller band. And for me, this is generally the position that I have it set to. So it'll fit my arm, and if I really want it tight, I can put it in. And for some reason on my left arm, it goes a little bit left, a little bit higher. But going back to the device, so some of the main things I really, really like about it is if we double press the home button, and I actually configured it to be my daily recap, it will take me to my daily recap for the day. So currently I'm at 394 calories burned. As you can see, it started off the day by sleeping and then just this light walking around the house. But you have the ability of going back to all your history. So you have yesterday, Tuesdays, all the way back, as far back as it has. And of course we can go more information, and it gives us the sphere information of sleep is purple, green is activity, deep green is basically exercise, and basically giving us the ability to look at them, how many calories burns and so on. If we, let's say we'll pick a good day, let's say we'll go here. This is June 30th. You can see I had inactivity, sitting, I was working at the office, light walking. It does count the fact that you are in sitting mode if you're not doing any activity, and it does give you health nudges. Going back, from the main screen, you can swipe to the right to see the same widget. This is just a daily recap. Initiating an activity is easy from here. Tapping it once will start, and if you want to use the GPS built in, very, very nice, right there. And then guides intervals at 1 minute and then you can say the log here. And it does have automatic detection for exercise. It's just not as accurate as if you initiate it. So if you're starting to exercise and you've been working out for about 5-6 minutes, it will pick up on it and it will give you that information, and it does it consistently. But it just doesn't start at the moment you start running. So if you're starting a run, just don't expect it to say good job at the run. And it does give positive feedback every once in a while to give you the information. Stepwise, it gives us here, it says that, you know, for the last 4 days, I've been hitting my step counter, so it gives me the awards for every single day. Today is Thursday, I'm at 276. It sets by default to be 6,000 steps, so that's something you want to keep in mind. We'll go back here, and last one here is the floor steps, so it just counts how many floors you've gone. Heart rate, it just gives you the high and low for the day. You can add your coffee cups, your water cups, and the only other widget that we don't have right now is the Together, as I don't have another gear-based device that I can actually pair this with and play with. If we press the power button when from the home screen, it takes us to all the applications installed. You can interface. There's a few that you can download, like Spotify Control, Trainer, and then the Together app. And then if you want to check your heart rate, you just go in here and say measure. Very simple. Going into the settings, so we'll go back into apps. and the settings in the top. You can go ahead and customize it, display, device, vibration, connections, resetting it, health nudges, all of these things are set up there. Those are very, very nice things, and I really love the fact that it's simple to use. It works really good. It fits on the wrist very nicely. I like the design. I like the fact that it actually is simple enough that you don't have to worry about the fact that it works as it intended, really. It's a fitness tracker. Do not expect it to be a wearable, like a smart wear, meaning don't think of it as the Huawei watch. The Huawei watch has its own benefits, and it is a smart wear device. It's intended to have a microphone and a speakerphone and the ability to interact with your system, to initiate Google searches and things like that. And that's what I was expecting out of it. For the first few days with the Gear Fit 2, I was expecting it to do the same thing. So I was wanting to see if there was a microphone, there was a speaker, all those functionalities. But the reality is, this is a fitness tracker. It's only intended to be a fitness tracker. You have notifications, you have the ability of responding with basic things on it, but that's the limitation. And I think that's partially why I was kind of concerned about this. But then over a couple of days of using it, I realized that this really works by itself. It works very well. I like the display, it's bright, it's easy to use. Initially, from the step 1 to step 2, and from the first fit to this one, they stopped the ability for the screen to go sideways. Now, when it's docked onto, when you have it on the dock, it will go sideways, and that gives you that percentage of charging on the left. But other than that, it will always stay in this orientation. There is no shortcut from the bottom up unless you're already in the App Store. So the main concern that you want to do, so that's the other thing I wanted to show you guys, the consistency. I'll go ahead and let the screen turn off. If you notice, as I was going back and forth with the screens, at no point did there show any stuttering, any delays. The UI is extremely nice, very simple, very easy to interact with. Now you notice it's off. I just bring it back up, on. And it works consistently like that all the time. Let's talk about some of the things I'm not too happy about here with the Gear Fit 2. The band that comes with it is one of the things that I kind of like, and I also have some issues with. The fact of the matter is, right now we only have one band. We don't have the ability of replacing it with anything else that has a better locking mechanism. And the reason I say this is it's very simple to put on and to put in, but really that's pretty much the only thing that you have locking it in. It's great if you're tugging on it at this end, but nobody ever tugs at it at this end. So if it even rubs against your hand in the side, like let's say you're doing something like that, or you're moving, or you're doing something with heavy weight, one of the main things that will happen is it will unlock, and I've had this happen to me many times. Now, it hasn't fallen off because the back end kind of keeps it on, so you're aware of it. You'll notice something is moving on your arm and you can fix it. But I think the mechanism should be improved, at least something a little bit more robust, maybe make it bigger. This won't happen if there's like the little gasket that you have, the bands that we usually have on our normal watches that you can actually put on there. So that would have fixed the problem. The other thing I want to talk about is the charging pins. My dock actually failed, which is one of the weird things, but it didn't fail on both ends since you can charge it both sides. It failed on one end, and I actually now have to always charge my device with my buttons on the bottom, so I can never wake up my device once it goes to sleep. I always have to take it off the dock and be able to touch it. Not a big deal, but it's something to be concerned on, being that it's less than a month old. Overall, I'm very happy with the device. I'm very happy with the implementation of how it is. It's not super in your face, and it doesn't try to do what it's not intended for. And that's something people may not understand, that this is a fitness tracker. This is not intended to be an Android Wear replacement. So in the beginning, that was a concern for me because I kept looking at it to actually perform kind of how my the Gear S2, if you guys seen in the past, I've done a review for that. The Gear S2 is a watch that has some of the functionalities that the Gear Fit 2 has, but in a more Android Wear-ish smartwatch kind of thing. This is a fitness tracker, so there's no speaker, there's no microphone, there's no S-voice. It will give you notifications. You do have some basic response options, auto response and basic stuff that you can do from the watch or from the Gear Fit. Other than that, it will work pretty much as a fitness tracker. I like the implementation for it. You may tell me that this is not the best implementation as far as the software. I think Samsung does a good job. And the reason I say this is I have the same software, the S Health application, installed on my OnePlus 3. And it syncs simultaneously. I'm able to see my fitness data, and I'm able to see everything from both devices as if I have my Gear Fit 2 connected to that point. One thing you want to be aware of is pairing the device from one phone to the other will delete the information off the watch. But if you have it synced via the S Health, you don't have to worry about it. It does keep historical data, so you don't have to have it connected to a watch all day long. You can connect it at the end of the day, sync your data, and you're pretty much set. That's how I've been using it, because I do still have my Huawei watch as my main smartwatch for notifications and so on. So at the end of the day, would I say, should you buy it, should you not buy it? I would say if you're looking for a health or a fitness tracker, I think this is a good option for about $179 straight from either Amazon or from Samsung. It's decent. It will perform pretty good. The heart rate monitoring, the auto heart rate monitoring was really, really good. And it does give you some awards, some positive response and positive feedback every once in a while, telling you that you've either reached your step goal or you've unlocked a new yeah, new badge or something like that, just kind of gives you motivation to be able to keep going. I like the fact that it works pretty good. I would have loved to see it compatible with iOS, as I do have an iPhone, and I would like to be able to use it with that as opposed to just having be locked down on Android. And Android Wear works on both sides. That's something that you don't have with the Fit. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I definitely will give you guys a link in the description below to be able to pick one up for yourself if you're looking for a fitness tracker or if you're looking to upgrade. It's definitely a much better implementation than the way they had the Gear Fit initially last year. The display is very nice, it's very clean, the implementation is very good. Again, the dock, I have to just get it replaced with Samsung. That is probably just a faulty one. And then hopefully when they do have new bands, I'll pick them up. But other than that, I'm very happy. Again, thank you very much for the support. Like and subscribe as usual, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Initial thing, it says let's get started. It says swipe left for widgets, so we'll go ahead and swipe to the left. Front facing camera, fingerprint sensor is at the bottom, and again, this isn't a button, it's